I just think do as much travel, be as selfish as possible, have fun, the job and career, and do what you love is probably what I'd say. Don't try.
Hello and welcome. I'm Olivia Cross for Wellington Live and Wellington in Your Pocket, and today I'm joined by Anna Calver. How are you?
I'm very good. Kia ora, how's it going?
Good. Now Anna's a bit of a cheerleader for Wellington and promotes the city by sharing the region's stories to the rest of the world. Now we'll start off with what have you been up to over summer?
Oh goodness, well I've been in Wellington a little bit, but I've also been venturing to Hawke's Bay where I'm originally from. So Lots of swimming, spending time with the family, eating, walking, and I'm a huge big reader, so I've been making my way through a selection of books bought from Good Books and Unity. Yeah.
Very nice. Now, are you back at work at the moment?
I am. I came back on the 10th for my sins, so yeah, I'm well into it now.
And how's that going?
It's good. Like, obviously in town it feels a bit different at the moment. I'm making a point of working for the office because obviously part of what I do is supporting businesses and Wellington businesses, so just trying to get the pulse of the city. So it's a bit of a challenging time at the moment with Omicron on the horizon. But listen, I love what I do and I'm very lucky to do it, so I enjoy it no matter what the context.
That's great. Now, what inspired you to get into the promotion of Wellington?
Oh, I moved back from London in the UK and decided to settle in Wellington. So, as I said, I'm from Hawke's Bay, and before that I was living in Auckland and studying in Dunedin. So after living in the UK, I wanted to be in somewhere different. So I just figured Wellington, I always loved it, like right from when I was a little kid. My grandfather actually used to be Governor General, so we used to come down and stay at Government House, and I just used to go to the zoo and Cuba Street and enjoy the city, and always absolutely loved it. And all the people I know who I studied with, for example, from Wellington, were always really interesting and really politically minded and always had great things to say. So settled down here and have loved it ever since.
Yeah, it's a super great city, super progressive and a great place to live.
Yeah, I think it's very inclusive. I think it attracts people from a whole lot of different places, and unlike, I guess, what you might call fair weather cities, people who chase the sunshine, people here seem to chase ideas and challenges and trying to solve them. So I think it's filled with a lot of people who are trying to make positive change.
Yeah, no, that's a super good way of looking at it. I hear you've worked for some pretty big companies like Google, Cadbury, and L'Oreal. Tell me a little bit about the kind of work you did for them.
Listen, my background is the dirty old PR world, although I've never considered it that. So I've always, I guess, helped tell stories to try and reach audiences, and sometimes they've been brand stories. So for example, for Google it was sharing kind of all the good stuff that they were doing in New Zealand. When I worked for L'Oreal, that was when they were a sponsor of New Zealand Fashion Week, so working with them to make sure that they're in their position was really recognised within that fashion community. Cadbury, I've worked for Procter & Gamble, I've worked for drinks companies like who make Guinness and Smirnoff, so it's always been trying to get stories out there, often via the news media, social media, things like that. So I love talking, I love sharing what good stuff's going on, so it was a natural progression to work for companies like that, to essentially work for Wellington to tell our story.
That's super cool. Now, what's the best advice that you would give a 20-something-year-old you?
Have more fun.
Yeah.
I think I always worked really hard. Listen, I started working probably when I was 12 years old. My mum was a caterer. I worked for her. I did lots of kind of babysitting jobs and waitressing. I never really took much time off. And if I look back to my 20s now, listen, I had a good time, particularly when I went over to London. But now that I am in my early 40s and I've got a family, I just think do as much travel, be as selfish as possible, have fun, the job and career, and do what you love is probably what I'd say. Don't try and do a career that doesn't, make your heart sing. Just do what you want and everything will work out.
That was great advice. Yeah, perfect. Now, is there anything in your eyes holding women back from success?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen, to be honest, and I'm incredibly guilty of it myself, is not backing yourself. I think women probably suffer from imposter syndrome more so than men. Men have a natural level of confidence, walk into a room, they're comfortable putting their strong opinions forward, but also they're comfortable backing themselves. They go for jobs that they might not have all the skills for, whereas women kind of look and try and tick every box. So I think it's honestly just telling yourself. I remember having low self-confidence myself and one day just going, actually, I'm going to believe in myself, and when people say you're doing a good job rather than say, oh, no, just saying, yeah, thank you, I am. So I think back yourselves, don't be afraid to be confident. I think it's an incredibly attractive trait in women. I think people are worried that men are allowed to be ambitious, but women's ambition seems more contrived, and I think that's totally false. I think a strong woman is a beautiful thing. So I would just, all women just encourage themselves. Listen, I've worked with women and men in workplaces equally have got incredibly strong skills. Women have got an intuition and an empathy that goes very far in the workplace and have really good gut instincts. So I think just back yourselves, go for stuff that even if you don't think you should go for it, and don't be afraid to let your opinions known. I certainly never have.
Yeah, definitely. Just having that confidence and ability to back yourself, realising if a man can do it, you can do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah. Now tell us, what do family and community mean to you?
Oh, I think absolutely everything. So, and I think the concept of family o whānau extends beyond just your nuclear family. I love the Māori way of looking at family, that it's a far broader view. So for me, my family are my friends, they are my community, they're the people I work with. And I think that sense of togetherness and that we are all in this together, one, you can celebrate when the good times, and I think events like Wellington on a Plate and Cuba Duper and the New Zealand Festival of the Art, that sense of community that you get from being a Wellingtonian in those wonderful events is amazing, and it does make you feel together in this shared experience, but also through challenging times. So, obviously with global pandemics and earthquake repercussions, Wellington's going through some growing pains and some challenges, and knowing that we're a community in this together and we can get through this together, I think makes it easier.
Yeah, definitely. And now to wrap off, what would your ideal Wellington day out be?
Listen, I'm a natural consumer, so for me it would be, and I love eating, but I also love the outdoors. So for me it'll probably be going a walk up Matarangi Mount Victoria. That's my local trail, so I'd probably start then. I'd then wander around down to the waterfront and grab some brunch with some good girlfriends. Probably then meet my family at the Sunday waterfront market and get some beautiful fresh produce and continue eating. I'd probably take an exhibition in at City Gallery, or I love the Level 4 Art Gallery at Te Papa. Finish off with a drink, probably at Puffin, one of my favourite bars, and then an evening show at Bats or Circa.
Perfect, that sounds like such an ideal day.
Oh, and actually it's kind of a day I probably have a bit too often.
Yeah, no shame in that.
No, absolutely not.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Olivia Cross for Wellington Live with Anna Calver.